Okay, this is KP4MD. Do we have a net control on frequency?
KP4MD, this is N6NA. I'm happy to do it if you'd like.
Okay, thank you. Please proceed there, James. We're already live on YouTube. This is KP4MD.
Copy. Good evening. This is James, Kilo November 6, Quebec, November Juliet, your net control operator for the River City ARC's Slow Scan TV net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. River City ARC's members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I'll recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now.
Yep, this is KP4MD, Carol.
Copy, Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta, Carol. Next station.
Alpha India 6, Delta Golf. Good evening.
Alpha India 6, Delta Golf. Repeat the name.
Hi, this is Joel. Alpha India 6, Delta Golf. Joel in Florence.
Copy, Joel. I recognize the voice and the call sign, and the name got cut off, so sorry I didn't remember that. Next station, please. Well, so far we have Carol, KP4MD, and Joel, AI6DG. And this is James, KN6QNJ. Any other stations wishing to participate tonight? Okay, well, Carol, it sounds like you have the really cool things to share. So do you want to, are you ready to share one of your ISS photos?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to do that. First of all, I'd like to put a shout out to Craig WP2N, who's on our live chat on YouTube. And, I think last week we also had Andy Cowley jumped in there. And he's 2 Echo 0 Romeo Echo Echo in Gosport, England. He's popped in once in a while, which is really nice. I see actually he checks into a lot of the live streams for amateur radio that go throughout the week. So if he's watching this, thank you very much for doing that, Andy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and send a picture. This would be PD-120 from the International Space Station event that just ended yesterday. It's KP4MD.
Carol, we're not getting any tone. Thanks, Carol. KP4MD. Well, I got a really cool picture. Came through very well, very few pixel pops. First woman ham contact from space. I think that's really a great download. Joel, AI6DG, did you copy?
Excellent copy. A little bit of noise in the front eighth or quarter or so. I don't know why there was more up there. There's a repeater ID right above the Linda Godwin PhD line that have a line of noise. Colors of the flag seems a bit dimmed. I'm not sure if that's the original or the reception, but RS0 ISS on the left, NA1 SS on the right, women in space, picture of Linda in her astronaut suit with the bright golden helmet being held in front of her, in front of an American flag, and down below ARBISS logo on the left, and then the labeling Linda Goodwin, PhD, first woman ham contact from space, and then some Russian letters 20, and then on the left and on the right 5-12, so I'm assuming this is the fifth picture of 12. And unfortunately, I didn't hear about this event until earlier this evening, so I didn't get a chance to receive any of these. Back to net AI6DG.
Thanks, Joel. Excellent description. Carol, do you want to tell us a little bit more about the photos you captured, or at least this photo?
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. I copied, I actually captured a total of about 7 photos from the International Space Station on overhead passes. A lot of the pictures had fading. This one was one of the better pictures I had. The very top where it says women in space, you can see kind of some snow behind those words, women in space. That was actually due to some fading of the signal coming in from the International Space Station. But this one of the better pictures that I have. I had one more that came in good and solid. And these pictures were actually being broadcast from the Russian side of the International Space Station, and I think it was very commendable that the current politics going on did not cause any problems with them sending pictures of American astronauts while they were flying over the United States. I thought that was very true to the spirit of amateur radio, just leaving all the politics aside. So very good, and I'll turn it back to Net Control. This is KP4MD.
Thanks, KP4MD. This is James, Kilo November 6, Quebec November Juliet. Since there's only a few of us transmitting tonight, Carol, if you want to queue up one of your other photos, maybe you can send another photo after Joel sends a photo.
Yeah, I'll be glad to do that. This is KP4MD.
AI6DG, are you ready to go?
Okay, tell me if I've got tone following this transmission.
A good tone.
PD 120. Alpha India 6 Delta Golf.
Go ahead.
Nope, that was just me IDing since I didn't put my call sign on the photo.
Oh, copy. Thanks, Joel. AI6DG, KN6QNJ. Well, of course, my first reaction is it looks like a parent at a soccer tournament watching their kid play that's bringing a lot of equipment with them. That I can't tell if that's recent or a while ago, but it looks like somebody having a field day somewhere in like a real field. The picture came through really well. You see in the lower left the red warning pylon and the tree, the pop-up, the equipment, and the looks like an inverted L. Well, maybe not. Be interested to hear about the radio and the setup. KN6QNJ. Carol, go ahead. KP4MD.
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. I'm going to guess, although I think it's not the right season, maybe this was a picture Joel took at the field day down at the Davis Ranch, because that's normally where the club has activated field day. That's the North Hills Club. And I've gone to visit him at the field day when he operates down there. I don't know, it just kind of looks like that because I could see what looks like probably the stuff that they have at the Davis Ranch there behind that fencing. But maybe I'm completely wrong. I see the pop-up. I see a pole there with what looks like a dipole hang, or maybe an off-center dipole with a feed point hanging and feed line off the end of it there. Maybe it's an end fed. I don't know, because it might be kind of really close to the end to be an off-center fed. But nice bright green grass, which I don't remember seeing that bright green grass at Davis Ranch in June during the field day. So this might be a different activity. Anyway, microphone and a rig in front of the operator. They're sitting at the table. And some other nondescript stuff, wires and stuff on the ground in front of the table. So back to Annette. This is KP4MD.
Comment?
Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, good evening. This is Dave, WB6YLK. I'm watching it on YouTube, and off in the distance there, I can see another one of those red pylons. So there's probably another pole down there holding the other end of that wire that's up in the air that you can see right by the tent there.
Whiskey 6, Yankee Lima King. Dave, thanks for pointing that out. I can just barely see that. I am really impressed that you're seeing that. Joel, AI6DG, do you want to tell us about this?
Yeah, I kind of got field day on the mind and starting to think about planning for that. And the end of June will come up before we know it. So this is actually North Hills Radio Club's field day at Davis Ranch a couple of years ago. This is not me. This is one of the operators, and he brought his stuff and set it up on the table. We have a table set up for that so that people can bring their own stuff. And for the end fed, and it actually works out pretty well. I'm really impressed with the end feds, but I imagine in 5 or 10 years there'll be something else that comes out that everyone will be soaring is the best antenna they've ever seen. I gather that it comes and goes in pads. Somewhere off to the left is a generator. I think I can see an orange extension cord centered down below. And I'm sure that whoever this is, he had a good time setting up and operating. And it's a beautiful site. Yes, there's grass there, grass and trees. Always, I don't know. We had a couple of years where it seemed like hell. It was so hot. It hadn't happened grass and the trees just cools the area down quite a bit. So the area can be cooler also. But field day, woohoo! Looking forward to it. Let's start planning our respective field days. Back to net, AI6DG.
Thank you, Joel, AI6DG. Dave, I just want to confirm that you don't want to transmit a photo. You're watching on YouTube, so I'm assuming you're not set up right now with a computer.
That's a Roger. I'm just watching on YouTube. I don't have anything put together to transmit with right now.
Copy that. Okay. Thank you, W6YLK. Carol, KP4MD, are you ready to send another photo?
Negative. Negative. Why don't you go ahead and send yours then?
Okay, this will be PD120. Just give me a second. Okay, I'll start with Joel, AI6DG. Did you copy?
Oh, excellent reception. No lines, just a few pops. Kiwi's ST600V, some digital multimeters, a smart meter. No dial. Okay, so we've only got a digital display with colors. It looks like that's how you select what mode you're in. We've got 5 buttons down below: power, select, H, two functions with the left and right arrow, and then the standard multimeter, banana plugs down below that. And it's in auto mode, and it's reading 017, and trying to figure out how small it is. It's pretty small. Mostly just this little itty bitty digital display with just enough room below that for the buttons and the cable connectors. And it's resting on a table on top of what I assume is the black fabric zipper case for it. True RMS, 600 counts. I'm not sure what the 600 counts means. Smart meter, back to net, AI6DG.
All good observations, AI6DG. Dave, W6YLK, do you want to comment?
This is Dave, WB6YLK. I read that as 6,000 calories, not 600 on the bottom. And I agree it's fairly small in size. Probably an easy handheld, probably not much bigger than a pack of cigarettes would be my guess.
Thanks, Dave. Carol, KP4MD.
Yeah, this is KP4MD. It's interesting. I've got a fluke meter. It's a bit bigger than this. This looks like it's something built into the form factor of a smartphone, and it's got a similar, a large liquid crystal display, similar to a smartphone, but looks quite capable with a lot of different scales and different options there. Interesting. I wonder, of course, they're trying to miniaturize everything, do large scale integration. This looks quite interesting. So, yeah, K-Weets, I've never heard of them before. I wonder if this is something you have. Back to you, KB for MD.
Yeah, this is James, KN6QNJ. The photo kind of compresses the length of it to make it look a little less tall than it is, but it would be like the size of a large smartphone and thicker. I got this recently off of Amazon for less than $40. Eventually I will get a fluke meter, but I couldn't believe the reviews on this and the capability, so I wound up getting it. And so far I've been able to use it to successfully check batteries around the house. It's worked very well, I will say, and the battery on our trailer. So that part's working. But it has a lot of functions to it. It says it's true RMS. I don't know if it really is for the money, but anyway, yeah, I got it recently, and in a rush to get a photo. There you all go. Carol, are you ready for your next photo?
Affirmative. This is going to be PD 120.
KP4MD, good copy. Again, at the top, it looks like maybe a little bit of that fading, but not as bad as the first photo you shared. Of course, Sally Ride, who we all know, first American woman in space. A lot of the same symbols and around as the first photo, but a very good copy. Boy, I'm really impressed how you are able to capture those. Joel, AI6DG, did you copy?
Man, this is even better than the previous one. So slight bit of noise banding at the top, a very slight noise bar across her forehead, but otherwise it's near perfect. And but otherwise the photo is identical, except it's a different person. It's Sally Ride, and it says so, and it says 4 of 12. Yeah. I would say this is good reception for here on the repeater, let alone off of ISS. Back to net AI6DG.
Thanks, Joel. Dave, W6YLK, do you copy on YouTube?
Yeah, I copy it on YouTube. I see the one line across there of noise right across her forehead. But other than that, on YouTube, it looks real good.
Thanks, Dave. I'm comparing the YouTube image to the SSTV software image, and I think we get a little more, I get actually a little more graininess through the computer than I do on YouTube, and I'm sure Carol can explain all the reasons why. But Carol, do you want to tell us, this is one of a series of photos you captured again in the last couple days from the space station flyovers.
Yeah, correct. This is KP4MD. If you look in the lower right-hand corner, it has 4-12. It's the picture 4 out of a series of 12 that they were rotating through. I've got several of the other ones, but like I say, they were chopped off because the satellite flew out of range in the middle of the picture, or flew into the range in the middle of the transmission of the picture. Those are the only 2 complete pictures that I got that were mostly good. So I was quite impressed that they're doing that. You know, there's been some talk about with what's going on, you know, in the politics in the world right now, that Russia is going to be pulling out of the International Space Station, and I guess they're getting probably quite strapped right now for money with all the sanctions going on. So I don't know what the future of that was going to be. They were talking about ditching the whole station. I don't know, by the year 2030 or so, because it's getting pretty long in the tooth, as they say, rather old. But there's an awful lot of investment gone into that, not only from America and Russia, but a lot of the European countries as well have invested a lot into that station. And it'd be sad to see it gone, but you know, I guess they'll be hopefully making bigger and better things in the future. So that's my story. And yeah, that's the only static that I saw, was that one line across the forehead. And if you look at the background of the picture, it looks like there's like a faded image of the sun or something behind, like in the background. That's where it kind of looks kind of like a faded image of the sun. There's a kind of a lightest circle encompassing the entire frame there, and but otherwise it looks really good. This is one of my best pictures. Back to you. This is KP4MD.
Thanks for that, Carol. Yes, you're right. There is a background glow from the planet, the sun, the moon, something. You're right. They kind of provide some texture to the overall picture. It's not actually fading like I thought at first. I think you're right. It's a very nice photo. Joel, do you want to send another photo this evening?
Hang on one moment. Let me prep one.
Okay, while we're waiting, I have one that I'll send that's just for fun. Stand by. This is N6NA. Well, there's not too much to say about this one, but Carol, do you want to comment? AI6DG, are you there, Joel?
I'm assuming this is a Far Side comic. It looks like we've got two pilots looking out the front windscreen, flying the plane, and one of them's talking in the caption down below. I'm afraid we're going to have to head back, folks. We've got a warning light on up here, and darn if it isn't the big one. Aren't they all big ones in a plane? I don't think there's too much you can get by without. But that's definitely Far Side humor. I miss Far Side. That was good. Back to net AI6DG.
Thanks, Joel. Yeah, so do I. Dave, you have any comments about this? W6YLK?
Yeah, the call is Whiskey Baker 6 Yankee Lima Kilo WB6YLK. My first thought when I only saw just a couple of the first few lines that came through with that big curve on top and the gray spike going up, my first thought was, oh goodness, where did he find a test signal? But then it got a couple more lines and I realized it was something else. But that was my first thought on it. But that's a cute comic.
Thanks, Dave. Sorry about the call sign. WB6YLK, Whiskey Bravo 6, Yankee Lima Kilo. Carol, KP4MD, any comment?
Yeah, okay, this is KP4MD. I think this is some kind of pilot humor. It's I'm reading it and I'm trying to get the punchline. It kind of like going over my head. If you're able to explain this very literally so I can understand where the humor is in there, I'd appreciate that. But otherwise, the picture came over okay, just as you see there on YouTube, KP4MD.
IS6QNJ. Well, I'll try my best. I think it's just typical Gary Larson Far Side irony, and I'm trying to figure out how to describe it more literally. I think it's just meant to be ironic and kind of make you smile. So I can certainly understand it. It's not. I think it's just ironic. I don't know, Joel or Dave. Do you have any comments on that?
Understated irony. And darn it if it isn't the big one. It's kind of understating that, hey, we've got an emergency up here.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a good way of describing it. Thanks, Joel. Joel, are you ready to send another picture?
PD-120.
Well, AI6DG, I got a really excellent copy. I've been there. I don't know if it still exists. I had heard they might be taking that down, but it is so amazing what they're able to do there. Carol, do you want to comment? KP4MD.
Yeah. This is apparently it's some kind of a recreation of ancient Imperial Roman architecture, classic style, with the statues up on the roof there of the building on the left side. However, there's a bit of an anachronism here because the people are not dressed in clothing of the period, and the writing up on on that thing that's held up by the columns there is in barbarian Anglo-Saxon language. It definitely is not Latin. So I don't know. It looks like a rather poor imitation of Rome. I'm guessing this is probably Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Back to net. This is KP for MD.
Yes, I think you are absolutely right. That sky looks so real, though. I wonder if a ham operator has tried to receive transmissions inside. Dave, WB6YLK, comment?
This is Dave. I don't know. It looks in English across the top there. It kind of spoils a little bit, but like someone else said, it probably somewhere down in Vegas at Caesar's Palace or one of those other wonderful places down there. But it came through, at least on the YouTube, with just a very few noise spots. And other than that, it's a good, clear picture.
Thanks, Dave. Joel, do you want to tell us a little more about this AI6DG?
Yeah, this is one of the fountains at Caesars in the Caesars Forum Shopping Center or Shopping Mall. I've gotten lost in that place a couple of times. First couple of times I went to Vegas and wandered Caesars Forum shops, I got lost, and eventually I took a look at the map and realized, oh, this is simple. But it's simple once you've gotten lost in it a few times and looked at the map. I mean, I think part of the objective of casinos in these shopping malls is for you to get lost. So you keep spending and keep gambling. I think this one's in the middle. I don't think any of the stonework, though, is real stone. I think almost all of it, I mean, there's undoubtedly some of it that's real, but almost all of it, I think, is foam and fiberglass. And that's pretty obvious when you look at multiple statues that are 100% completely identical. But these are kind of cool. I mean, I don't know, I'm not interested in the shops, but just looking at the spectacle of it all. I mean, you're obviously indoors, but they make it look like you're outdoors. A couple of the casinos do that. They do the same thing in, I think, Miracle Mile Shopping Center over at Hollywood and over at the Venice, at Venice in the shopping areas over there. If you wander long enough and find yourself all the way in back, they actually have a really nice curved aquarium. You know, it's like 6 or 8 feet tall, and it's probably a 50-foot arch of long. I mean, it's really quite impressive. Saltwater fish of various kinds, nope. They're there to keep you entertained and to get your money, and this is one of the ways they do it. Back to net AI6DG.
This is KN6QNJ, James, Net Control. Yeah, that's right. I mean, we know they designed them to keep you inside. They don't put clocks on the wall. There are no windows, so you can't see how late it is. And certainly within the casinos, the carpets are designed with a disturbing pattern that will keep you looking up. So it's all, it all works. We've each been able to transmit 2 pictures tonight. Do either of you, Carol or Joel, want to send any more pictures, or should we call it a night?
Well, this is KP4MD. I'm just going to repeat some notes here from the YouTube chat. We had Kyle, KN6TBD, who again said he's sorry he couldn't make it. He couldn't get into the repeater, but he would like to be able to play along next week. And Mike Erickson, also from Orland, says images, voice, and humor are all good here. So thanks, guys, for putting on a great net here this Wednesday night. Back to you. This is KP4 Mike Delta.
Well, with that, I think we'll call it a night, and we want to thank everybody who participated in tonight's SSTV net, both on the air and through YouTube. Dave, thanks for joining us. WB6YLK. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. The net is officially closed at 9:49 p.m. This is James, Kilo November 6, Quebec November Juliet, wishing all of you a very good evening.
Comment.
Comment.
You also mentioned something about going away. I don't think any of this type of stuff in Caesars is going away. You might be thinking of the volcano down at the Mirage. The Mirage is turning into a hard rock, and they're tearing out the volcano and turning it into a guitar tower building, part of the hotel, or something like that. Anyway, the volcano's going away, but none of these Caesars fountains are going away as far as I know. Back to net, and, well, I guess there isn't a net anymore. AI60.
Well, the net that was heard you. Maybe it was the animatronics within Caesars that I was thinking maybe they stopped doing that. I haven't been there in a while. So, in fact, the last time we were there, we stayed at my daughter's team hotel, which was Circus Circus, and I will say that is a place I'm not going to go back to, KN6QNJ.
Man.
Well, lots of lists of worst hotels on the Strip have Circus Circus, or at least a portion of Circus Circus on them. Animatronics kind of drew a blank for a moment. Then I realized that the aquarium I was talking about has an animatronic show that goes on the front half of it, which is actually part of the stage. So maybe that's what you're thinking of, where it was kind of like a Jupiter and Mars and battles and flame and water flying around. Is that what you seem to remember?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm remembering. Yeah, thank you, Joel. I think somebody was trying to make a comment. Dave, was that you?
Yeah, this is Dave, WE6YLK. Just information for you. I used to participate on this net when it was on 2-meter simplex, and I've got a radio that was all set up for it, but it's on 2 meters, and it didn't have the 440, and I've just never gotten everything put back together to do it now that it's on 440. So every now and then I check in and watch the net on YouTube here, but someday I'll get ambitious and get it all put back together again so it works on 440 here. Anyhow, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Good evening.
Thank you, Dave, W6YLK, KN6QNJ. Well, that's actually really good to know, and I hope you are able to join us not just through the radio, but also to receive and transmit pictures when you're ready and set up. As you know, I'm relatively new, and I've really enjoyed this group, and I learn something every week, so I appreciate it. KN6QNJ.
Okay, 730, all. This is KP4MG. Clear. See you all next week.
Thanks, Carol. KN6QNJ. Clear.
Yeah,